Hello, welcome everyone. Today we are together here for Excel workshop by Ellen, and we will be covering financial modeling. So yeah, over to you, Ellen.
All right, so thank you, Akriti. So I'll share screen right now. Okay, so for those who haven't received the files, I'll share the chat box in the file. So let me just go to my folder. So this is the folder we have after and before. So I'm going to share the before file and I put in the chat box. Okay, so I've already shared to you. All right, so my dear friends, if you can hear me, you can just type number one in the chat box. And if you can see the screen, please type number two in the chat box. Because the purpose is because I'm doing this, we are online. So I just want to make sure that everyone is on the same page. Okay, so this one is what we are learning is we are learning a financial modeling. So anyone who knows financial modeling, it's actually a very good thing, not only in your resume, but you can also be an asset to an organization because it's a very, very big scale. So today I'm going to teach staff cost financial modeling. So this is a company, okay, a fictional company that deals with waste services. They have about 50 headcounts. That means normally in any organization, whether Deloitte, KPMG, or even Google, Meta, so they will have employees. Employees, we call them as headcount. And then we do have average monthly salary per employee. And then they also have some rough figures regarding a increment, because when you work in a company every year there will be a salary increment. They have overtime hours per employee, overtime rate, and then lastly is bonus. Okay, I'm not going to talk about this EPF and SOXO because this is a Malaysian related data. I'm only going to cover three things. What are the three things? First thing is salary, number two is overtime, and then the next thing is annual bonus, meaning to say every year we have about 2 months bonus. Okay, so some companies they have a policy of giving bonus to the top performer. Some companies they give bonus to actually, on a fixed basis, like 2 months and so on. So if you look here carefully, we do have salary. So salary means what is the formula of salary? The formula of salary is basically, you see here, it is employees. That means we do have the head counts, and then after that we multiply with, I'm going to write here multiply with average monthly salary per employee. So per employee is 5,000. So we have headcount about 50. So I put here average monthly salary. Okay. Then overtime also, we notice it's also hit now. But then after that, we multiply. We multiply with what? We multiply with the overtime rate per hour. So I'm going to put here overtime rate per hour. And then not to forget, we also have overtime hours. So multiply with overtime hours. Because you see here, overtime hours per employee, so about 5 hours. Then after that, we have overtime rate per hour. So you need to multiply this. Okay. And salary is so, we don't get salary every month or every year constant, because salary is something there is an increment. So we have salary increment every first month of the year. So I need to put here multiply with the every salary increment. Okay. Last one is bonus. So bonus is basically 2 months salary. So you have the salary multiply with 2 months. Okay, I put here 2 months and then multiply with. You see, when you go talk about bonus, we don't get bonus every year. We get bonus basically once a year or maybe twice a year. In this case, we get bonus on every May. So my dear friends, can you type number 3 in the chat box if you can see the word here every May? Okay, so meaning to say that this particular company, they get bonus every May. So some companies they get bonus on June, some on end year and so on. So this company they have a policy on every May. So I'll put here multiply with May month. Okay, so what we are doing is we are preparing a financial modeling starting from monthly staff costs. So when you prepare a financial model, you need to have a time driver. Okay, I'll show you what is time driver. You need to have flag, and then you have the accounting items. So right now, this is, although it is employee data, it is a staff cost, but also you can consider it as a accounting information, accounting items. So let's start with the time driver. So I'm going to open a new sheet. Let me zoom it over here. Okay, and I'm going to go to C1. Okay, so if you're using a normal laptop, you will have a control button, you have a semicolon button. So I'm going to do what? I'm going to press control semicolon. Control semicolon shows the current date, the today's date. Okay, you can actually put 1st July or you want to show to today's date, up to you. Then after that you put here equal EOM. Okay, EOM means, can you see this? If you can see this, can you type number 4 in the chat box? Okay, so equal EOM. What does it mean? It means that it will return the last day of the month. Last day of the month, or in other words, the end of month date. So I'm going to press here tab, and then I'm going to select the start date. I'm going to press here comma and 0. Then I press enter. So now it will show me in general format. What I need to do is I need to change to short date. So if you look here carefully, this formula is end of month. Some of them will ask me why I put here 0. Because if they say I put here 2 months, okay, this is July. July, when you plus with 2 months, you will have about July, August, and September. If they say I put here -3, so that means now it's July. July, when you minus with 3 months, the previous 3 months is June, May, April. So end of month is basically shows the last day of the month, the end of month date. So instead of putting -3, I need to put 0 because I want the current month. Okay, so now here we have July, then I put here equal TEXE text. This is basically a formula that convert any value to a specific format. So I want to select this, comma, apostrophe, M. Why M? M means it will show month. And then Y means it is basically the year. So I'll put here and enter. So basically it will show us the month and the year. Some of them they will ask me why I actually put the 3M. If they say you put here 4M, and then you press enter, it will show you the full form. Okay, if just say you put here, for example, y, it will show you the full year. So what I want is, I want only 3M and 2Y, close apostrophe, enter. So right now we do have July 2025. Then I'll go to D1 equal, select 31st July. 31st July is the last day of the month. I'm going to plus 1. When the last day of the month, when you plus 1, you'll get 1st August 2025. Then I press Ctrl R. Ctrl R means we'll copy left to right. If I want to expand this, alternate H, and then we have here O, and we have here I. So it will expand the column. Then Ctrl R again, so that it will copy left to right. So now here we do have July, we have August. So just say I want to do until AZ column. So Ctrl G, a box will appear. I'm going to write AZ. So this will indicate it will go to the column AZ. And our last row is row number 3. I'm going to put here 3. I'm going to put here enter. Control Shift up. Control Shift left. Control R. So it will Control R in your keyboard. When you press Control R, it will copy left to right. And if you want to expand the column, you press alternate in your keyboard. If you are using MacBook, there's no alternate button. But in a normal laptop, there is a button called ALT. So alternate H O I. So now you have this data. So let me just adjust as cosmetic. So I'm going to put here Control A, alternate HAC, so that everything is aligned center. So here we do have the start, here we have the end, here we have the period. What I want to do next? The next thing is I want 3 other items, which is the month number, and then we also want the year and year number. Okay, so now what is month number? Month number is, this one is July. So basically we get our bonus on May. May is the 5th month of the year. So in this case, what I'll do is I'll put here equal MONTH. So this one is basically a month. That means it will try to indicate what month is it. Is it the first month, second month, or third month? But before I proceed, can anybody type in the chat box number 4 if you can see this function over here? So this function name is month. So what is month? Month is basically to indicate what number it is. So I'm going to press here tab. I select C2 and I press enter. So now you see here, this is July. July is the 7th month. I'm going to press Ctrl G, AZ4. Ctrl Shift left, Ctrl R. So you will notice, okay, December is 12, January is 1, March is 3rd, and so on. Okay, this one is very important actually. This one is for us to help us to know whether which month will get bonus and so on. Year. What year it is? Okay, this is 2025. So I'm going to select year, year Okay, can you type number 5 in the chat box if you can see this function? So this one also will try to actually capture what year it is. So I'm going to select this 2025 and then Control G, AZ. Why AZ? That is our last column. And what row it is? Row number 5. Control Shift left, Control R. Okay, so there you go. So now here we do have year. Next, okay, year number, I'll explain later what we'll do with year number. So now we do have this data. If just say I go to the right, my first column, column A is not visible because I never freeze. So what you can do is you can go to this A1 and you put your cursor maybe somewhere here and you can go to view and you can actually click freeze pane. Okay, you can click freeze pane or the keyboard shortcut will be alternate WFF. So let me show you. I press alternate, then I lift my hand. The word view is W. W means view. And then F for freeze pane, F for freeze pane again. So what it does is it will freeze the pane. Okay, so this is how it does and so on. So normally anyone who works in valuation, they will always use keyboard shortcut. They are actually experts, okay? All right, so now we do have the first thing, what they call it as a time driver. Next thing is flag. Why flag? Because you see here, we get salary increment every year. Meaning to say, the salary increment for the current year, maybe you put here 0%. Okay, this is 0%. Then eventually in 2026, okay, 5%. Okay, let me just show you. So meaning to say, not here, sorry. Okay, so for current year, there's no increment. But next year, you'll have a 5% increment. And then after that, in 2027, let me just go over here. So here, you'll get about maybe 10% increment, 10%. Okay, so I want to do an increment because like I want to show to my manager that every year there's an increment. So if you notice carefully, I'm actually doing this manually. Okay, I'm going to go to the cell and I put here 15% increment. So instead of doing manually, we can actually use a helper column. Okay, so let me just show you what I'll do is, first thing is we need to indicate what year it is. This one is year number 1, this is year number 2. So what I'll do is I'll put here equal, select this, minus 2024. When you minus 2024, this will be year number 1. And I copy this and paste over here, this will be year number 2 and so on. So let me just drag this, Control R and Control R, align center, alternate HAC. So right now we do have this data here. So this one will indicate what year number. Next thing, what I'll do is I will put here salary increment flag. If you notice carefully, you get your salary increment not on the first year. When you join any company, there will be no increment on the current date. Only on the subsequent year, you will get an increment. That is not all companies, but most of the companies, they practice this. So salary increment, if you notice, salary increment every first month of the year. Okay, first month means every January of the year, you will get 5%. So before I proceed, can you type number 6 if you can see this? Okay, salary increment. Can you see this word here? Okay, meaning the same, salary increment is given every January of the year. That means every January, you'll get a hike. 5%, 5%, so on. So before I proceed, can anybody type number 6? If you can see this word here, salary increment, January, and 5%. Okay, so thank you for typing number 6, so now. Okay, so now let me go to sheet 1. So first step is, I want to indicate whether there's an increment or not. I'll put here equal, year number, not equal. Okay, this is in Excel. We use this formula as not equal, the symbol equal to 1. Why? Because during your first year, you don't get increment. So this one, you can actually use conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, text that contain. So if they say it contains the word TR, true, it should be green color. Okay. If they say it contains the word false, that means it is red color. Okay. And then what I'll do is I'll press Control G. Our last column is AZ. This row is number 8. Control Shift left, Control R. So meaning to say your increment you'll get from the subsequent year onwards. This is salary increment flag. Okay, I'll put here the year flag. Next thing is I also want to know the salary increment rate. Okay, so let me just change. Okay, so this one is salary increment rate flag. Okay, that means what I want to do is whether year is 0% and then year will be 5%, something like that. I want to do. So how to do is very simple. I'll just going to show you. So first thing is what we do is we put here open bracket, select the year number. Okay, wait, equal, open bracket, select the year number, minus 1. Okay, minus 1, close bracket. Then you multiply with you multiply what? We multiply with this rate over here. The rate is 5%. It is located from a cell, the fixed cell. So in your keyboard, there is a F4 button. Okay, F4, function F4. So you press F4 so that it will lock the cell. Okay, that means they will have a $2 sign on this particular cell, and then you press enter. So right now it will show you 0. Okay, so let me just show you all how what I'm going to do is Control R. So every year, if you notice carefully, okay, wait, let me just zoom so that people can see clearly. Okay, so year 5%. Then when you go to 2027, you will notice that is 10%. Then when you go to 2028, you will notice there is 15%. Then when I go then to the 2029, you will notice there is 20%. So meaning to say, this is the salary increment. Every year, you will notice there is salary increment. So my dear friends, can you see this number? If you can see this number, can you type number 7 in the chat box? So meaning to say, every year, every January, there is an increase. Okay, so you may ask me, what formula did I use? I use this formula. Okay, later I'll write down the notes, the formula, then you'll get an understanding. Okay, so this one is important. This will help us to determine our salary. Next thing is head count. Okay, if you see here, employees 50 head count. If I were to be honest, head count is not something that is fixed. Head count, that means like for example, this month you might have 50. Next month, maybe there's a possibility that the employee resign. Like there will be 49. Then the following month, maybe your manager hire two different employees. So it will be 51. So for head count, it's not something that is fixed. Maybe because of promotion, resignation, new hire, the headcount will not be fixed throughout the period. So I'm just going to choose a particular cell. Let me put a format. Sorry. Okay, so format styles, I choose this format. Okay, so this one you can actually hard code it, you can change. So Control G, A, Z, this is row number 11. Control Shift left, Control R, and there you go. Okay, so now we have headcounts. If you look carefully, our salary, our overtime, our bonus. So this is our data. So I want to copy this and I want to paste it over here. Okay, so salary. What's the formula of salary? Headcounts multiply with the average monthly salary multiply with salary increment. Okay, so before that, what I need to do is I need to actually plus 1 here. So this one, I put 1 plus open bracket, and over here, so I must close bracket. So here 100%, if I drag to the right, it will show me 120%. So we are going to multiply with this. So let us see the magic. So if you look here carefully, the formula of salary is headcount multiplied with average monthly salary multiplied with salary increment. So if you go to salary equal, okay, so I'm going to select this average monthly salary. I'm going to select this. I'm going to press here lock because this 5,000 is average monthly salary per employee. So it isn't this particular cell, it doesn't move. It is actually fixed in one cell. So I'm going to lock this, multiply. So average monthly salary multiply with head counts. So I'll go to the head counts. This is the head count. Multiply with what? Salary increment rate. I multiply with this and then I press enter. So what we notice is 250,000. So if just say I go to the subsequent year, you will notice, okay, let me control spacebar, alternate HOI. What you'll notice here is 250,000, 250,000, 262. That means there is actually an increment of 5%. So my dear friends, can you see this? If you can see this, can you type number 8 in the chat box? So meaning to say in the current year, 250. Then after that is 5%. Then just say I drag to the right. Okay, wait, let me show you. Okay, control spacebar, alternate HOI. So you see here, there is an increment of 5%, 5%. Okay, so you'll notice a difference. So that is why we need this. And one more thing I need to teach you, because normally intern, fresh graduate, they'll make mistake. Mistake means just say I select this and control minus. So what you notice is you'll notice everything here error. This is the big danger. That's why financial modeling, it is like a domino effect. When you do one, you have to make sure that other things also correct. It's in a sequence. So I'm going to press Control Z. Okay, so this one I'm going to press Control G. AZ, this is row number 13. Control Shift left, Control R. And then Control Spacebar, alternate HOI. Okay, so that it does. So now we have done for salary. Next is overtime. Overtime is basically head count multiplied with overtime rate multiplied with multiply with overtime hour. So we have the head count, we do have the overtime rate, we do have the overtime hour. So what we do is we just put here equal. Okay, first thing is you select the average overtime hours per employee. I'm going to select this. Log multiply with average rate per hour. I select this. Log. Then multiply with, I go to sheet 1 and then I select the headcount over here. So I select this headcount and then I'm going to press enter. So now we notice that overtime is 5,000. So I'm going to change to accounting format, alternate HK. Okay, let me show you. Alternate HK. Okay, then control G. I go. So, okay, so I'll just put here AZ and then I'll go to 14. Okay, control shift left, control R. So now this is the data and so on. Then after that, we do have bonus. Okay, so bonus, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put equal. Okay, before that I proceed, let me show you the formula of bonus. Bonus is over here is salary multiplied with 2 because we do have 2 months bonus and then multiply with May. So instead of typing May, I just want to type here 5. Okay, right. Okay, so we have annual bonus, we have 2 months salary. Annual bonus is given based on 2 months salary and given on every May, which is the 5th month. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to calculate this bonus. So I'm going to go to sheet 1 equal, go to the assumption tab because this is 2 months. I'm going to select this. Log multiply with the, okay, I'll go to the sheet 1, multiply with the salary and enter. If you look here carefully, we don't get bonus on July. So by right, it should be 0. We get bonus only during on the May month, which is over here. So how to actually put that we get bonus only on May? Well, before I multiply, I need to show you, we need to create a flag. So control shift equal. So I'm going to put here bonus flag. Okay, and then I'm going to put here equal. So now this is month number, which is July. Equal, go to assumption, and then I'm going to select over here. So now it shows me false. So let me just copy and let me just paste the format. Control G, AZ, then Control Shift left, Control R. So if you notice, we only will get bonus on every May. Okay, okay, maybe I need to lock my mistake. So I'm going to lock this. Control Shift right, Control R. So if you notice carefully on every May, you will have true. Okay, every May we do have true. Okay, because we get the bonus on May month. So you just say, let me just change over here. So you just see I put the bonus on the 8th month. So if just say it changes to 8, you will notice that on every 8 of the month will get bonus. So this is how you can auto reflect. Okay, so now let me do this formula first. So equal, I need to, wait, let me just change this. Equal, select the salary, times with false over here. In Excel, when it's true and false, true means it is equivalent to 1. False means it is equivalent to 0. Okay. And I multiply with, I go to assumption, I multiply with these 2 months over here. And then I locked. I press enter. So now, of course, for the current month, we don't have bonus. But if just say I drag until the May, Control R. So you notice we have bonus on this particular period. Okay, alternate HK. So I'm going to press here Control G, AZ16. Control Shift left, Control R. Okay, so there you go. So you get your bonus. Alternate equal. Okay, so the first month, 300,000, and then there you go. Then you can actually put it in a border, alternate HBU, Control B. Okay, so now this is AZ. You can also press Control G, EZ, and then this is row number 17. Control Shift up, Control Shift left, Control R, and then alternate HOI. Just like that, you can even prepare up to 2038 because it's better for us. It's actually better for us to actually prepare for longer period. Okay. All right. So before I proceed, my dear friends, can you see this? This is a monthly report. If you can see monthly report, can you type number 1 in the chat box? Okay, so let me proceed to the next part. Okay, so now this one is monthly. Okay, this is actually monthly. Next one is quarterly staff cost. Okay, for quarterly staff cost, you don't need to actually prepare, start from scratch. Basically, you can actually use some if. So let me just show you some details. So I just want to put here, this is the period number, and then over here is quarter number. Okay, period number means what I'm going to do is I want to put here like period 1, period 2, period 3. So how I do is, first thing is equal this period plus 1. So this will be the first period. Control G, I go to EZ. EZ now is our last column. This is row number 7. Control Shift left, Control R. So subsequently, we get to know, okay, this is first period, second period, fifth period. Why we do this? Because we want to know the quarter number. In one quarter, we have about 3 months. One quarter is 3 months, so we divide by 3. But instead of appearing in this format, I want to round up. So equal, round up, and then after that, what I'll do is, I'll actually go here, divided by 3, round to 0. Because it doesn't show any decimal. Okay, Control G, EZ, A. Control Shift left, Control R. Okay, so this is quarter number. Then what we do is we can actually showcase the quarter performance. So let me just go here. This one I'll rename to monthly. This one is quarterly report. Quarterly report. And then let me just copy this. Okay, so copy and paste. And this one also, I don't want actually monthly. Instead, I'll just put 2 months. Control Shift, Control R, Control Spacebar, alternate HOI. Okay, so now this one is basically for quarterly report. Because what if just say your manager wants quarter? The requirement given here is prepare monthly, prepare quarterly. So now we do have quarterly. Next thing is I put here quarter number. Okay, and then after that I put here equal last one. Okay, Control G, E, Z. This is row number 3. Control Shift left, Control R. Align center. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put here freeze pane so that it will freeze pane over here. And then I'm going to just go to monthly and I'm going to copy all this information over here. So we have this information and then I'll use the sum if equal sum if, because the thing is this one is quarterly, over here is monthly. I don't want to manually plus 1 by 1, meaning to say I'm going to put here equal sum this data over here. I don't want to do that because this is doing manually. So instead of doing manually, what I want to do is I want to use sum if equal sum if. So in sum if, we have the range, we have the criteria, we have the sum range. The criteria is over here, quarter number 1, quarter number 2, quarter number 3. But first thing is we need to start with the range. Where is our range? We go to monthly. Over here we have quarter number, which is quarter number 1, quarter number 2. So this is our range. You need to press F4 button to lock this. Then comma. Then you need to go to quarterly. So the criteria is over here. This one, you need to lock the row. So F4, F4. So this one, we will try to lock the row because all the quarter number is in one row. And then I'm going to press here comma. Then I go to this monthly report. I'm going to select this. Enter. So now if they say I drag down, okay, so you have this data, alternate equal, enter. So you'll notice that we have 900,000. So because when I highlight this, 900,000. Then what I'll do is I'll press Ctrl G. I go to EZA. Control Shift up, Control Shift left, Control R. Control Space bar, alternate HOI. Okay, but of course in last few data, we don't have data here. Why we don't have data in 2054 or even in 2050 and so on? Okay, let me just show you why we don't have. Okay, wait, let me just. Okay, wait, let me just go back. Okay, so this is 2028, 2029, 2035. Okay, so 2038 we don't have. Why? Because you see here, our last data for monthly is 2038. Okay, maybe what I'll do is I'll try to just go here. Control Shift up, Control Shift left, Control R. Alternate HOI. So this is September. Control R, alternate HOI. So now you have December. So I'm just going to press Control minus. So this is until December. So we don't have any data in 2029. So this one, I'm just going to delete this, control spacebar, control minus. Okay, so control A, alternate HOI. Okay, so now we have this data over here, control B, alternate HBU. Okay, so right now we do have salary, we do have overtime, we do have bonus for quarterly, and I never do monthly. Instead, all this I actually use sum if. Okay, I use the sum if data. In the real working world, there will be a lot of components actually, like salary, medical allowance, traveling allowance, and so on. And this is just staff cost. What if just you need to prepare for 10 different departments? So there'll be a lot actually. Okay, so now this is quarterly. Next, I'll try to do for annually. So alternate HOR and I'll go to annually. So this one also, I'll try to put here maybe 2025 uh, equal plus 1, control G, maybe I'll go to Z, Z1, control shift left, control R. So now we do have the data. So maybe I want to do until 2038. Okay, so now this is our data. And what I'll do is I'll just copy all these items, copy this, and I paste it over here. So this is the data equal, and I want to do sum if. So sum if the range, where is the range? I go to the monthly. Over here, we do have year. So I select this year. I need to log here. Okay. Then I press comma. I need to go to annually, and I need to select this particular year. So I will just press F4 twice so that we log the row. Why we actually log the row? Because 2025, 2026, 2027, all this in 1 year. So we press here, log the row 1. Then I press here comma. I go to the sum range. I just select the salary over here. Then I press enter. So automatically this will calculate the salary for 2025. So if just say I drag down, for 2025, we never don't have bonus. Why? Bonus will only be given in May. So we missed the boat. Okay, now it's July. So what I can do is I can go here. I can just go here with Control G to O. And then after that, Control Shift up, Control R. Control Spacebar, alternate HOI. Okay, and then alternate equal. We are not going to add the year. So enter, Control G, O number 5, Control Shift left, Control R. And then Control B, alternate HBU. Okay, so now this is your yearly data. We have yearly data, we have monthly data, we have quarterly data, we have annual data. And what we can do is we can also calculate the annual cost. So I'm going to highlight this, alternate F1 so that we have the years. I don't want year 1, year 2, year 3. I want 2025. So I can select the data, edit, and edit all this. Enter and enter. And then if they say I want to expand, so click here, I put data label, remove the grid line, and yeah. So this one also, I don't want all this. So right click, format axis. Okay, and then after that, I just put here to maybe millions. Okay, so now it looks better. So there, every year there's an increase. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some magic. Okay, so let me zoom out. Control B. So we paste the chart over here. Okay. So now if just say I put the bonus to just say 10 months, you will notice there is a significant increase. If just say I put here 2 months, you'll notice there's a decrease. So what I'm going to do is, okay, this is your chart. Okay. This is your months, this is your percentage. So now let me just show you a developer tab. I'm going to click it over here. So before I proceed, can you type number 2 if you can see spin button? So my dear friends, can you see over here, is there a spin button? Can you see this? If you can see this, can you type number 2 in the chat box? So I'm going to click on the spin button and I'm going to put it over here. So the spin button is can increase and decrease. So right click, format control, and the cell link is, I'm going to select the cell link to number 2, the 2 months over here, and press enter. And instead of current value is 0, I'll put current value 2. Okay, select this. So now when I just select this, you notice that your bonus has increased. Okay, increase, increase. So my friends, can you all see this? If you can see this, can you type number 3 in the chat box? To be honest, the output is very simple. It's not so beautiful, but we are managed to actually prepare monthly staff costs, quarterly staff costs, and annual staff costs. Something like this. The only problem that I'll tell you all is if just say you accidentally delete any of the row. So when you delete any row, it will show you error. This is very dangerous. That is why financial modeling is what you need to do is you need to make sure that it starts everything in a process. Because if you make one mistake, it will create a domino effect. So this is the data. So when you increase the number of months, your staff cost also will increase as well. You can also do the same for the salary increment, for the headcounts and so on. This one is what they call as sensitivity analysis. Meaning to say, if just say I put here 100 employees, it will increase. I put here 49 employees, it will increase, decrease actually. So my friends, do you get the picture? If you get the picture, can you type number 4 in the chat box? So we have managed to prepare monthly staff costs, quarterly staff costs, and annual staff costs. But this one is a fictional company. It is a fictional company because real working world, you will have number one is 10 different departments. Okay, when you talk about Deloitte or you talk about KPMG, they have branches not only in Hyderabad, maybe they can have in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Mumbai, and so on. So that's number one. Number two is we do have average monthly salary per employee. This is not correct because when you talk about any organization, an organization is divided by director, and then you have top management, and then you also have executive. Executive is more the IT staff and so on, and then you have the non-execs. Okay, non-executive. So this one, 5,000 for a top management, 5,000 for a director is very, very low. So meaning to say, in a real working world, we'll have four different categories. So this case study is very simple. And then what is a problem with this? Because salary increment, it happens every first month of the year. Some companies, the financial year will start on July. Some companies, the financial year will start on July. Some companies, the financial year will start on February. So if just say it will start on the February, how you want to manage it? So this is where things will get a little bit tricky. Then, okay, EPS also is only in Malaysia, but in terms of bonus, sometimes bonus is not just fixed. Sometimes bonus is given based on performance, top performer, top performer, and so on. Okay, so my dear friends, do you understand? If you understand, can you type number 5 in the chat box? Okay, so if just see you have any questions, you can actually unmute and then you can ask, or you can also type in the chat box if you have any questions. Okay, but this one is a very fictional case study. Like I told you, there are many, it's not perfect because in real, if we are talking about a very small company, yes, 50 employees. A startup will have 50 employees. If you're talking a big organization, they might have about 40 subsidiaries, 10 different departments, and then they might not only have per employee, they might have for executive, non-executive, top management, and director. And then after that, the salary increment will not be given on January. Sometimes it will start on July. Sometimes it will start on February. And then the bonus is not 6 months. Sometimes, okay, yes, they give 6 months for everyone, but maybe for the top performer or the top team, they'll give extra, like 8 months, 10 months bonus. Okay, so this is the data. This is monthly, this is quarterly, this is annually. All right. So if you have any questions, you can type down your questions in the chat box. Okay. I will also show you, because when you talk about financial modeling, there is a lot of case studies. Okay, let me show you the other case studies as well. Let me just go to 9 July and click highway case study. Okay, so this one is also another fictional case study whereby you have an question over here. This is a company in Malaysia. You are tasked. Okay, but before I proceed, can anybody type number 6 if you can see this Excel file? Can you type number 6 if you can see this Excel file over here? Okay, so if you look in this particular report, this is a fictional company in Malaysia. You are given the responsibility to develop a financial modeling for this company. This company, they plan to construct and operate highway. So normally, if you talk about India also, in India, you have highways, just say from Hyderabad, you want to connect to Tamil Nadu. Even there's a highway is ongoing, building from India to Myanmar and Thailand. Okay, so let me just go to Google. So highway from India to Thailand. Okay, so this is a ongoing project. We have this four-lane highway. Okay, so this highway is quite long, about 1,360 kilometers. So normally highway companies, the first phase is they will get money from toll and advertising. That means you go, you pass the toll booth, you pay money, and also we have advertising because you have the billboard, you have the poster along the way. And then, of course, all the expenses will be longer. So every highway or construction, it will start with construction phase. A construction phase is where you will try to build the project. You need to know whether what process, whether you how you get the money. Is it you get the money from bank, or is it you get the money from equity? Equity means shareholders, parent company. Okay, so and also you can just change the scenario over here. Okay, so let me just change. If just say I change the scenario to scenario 3, you'll notice there's changes. Scenario 2, scenario 1, and so on. Okay, so my friends, can you all see this? If you can see this, can you type number 7 in the chat box? Okay, so this is all finance. Okay, when I talk about financial modeling, you see what we studied today. Today we study about financial modeling. Financial modeling can say super advanced Excel. It's not normal Excel, it's not basic, intermediate, or advanced, it's super advanced. Why the terminology is super advanced? Because first thing is, of course, keyboard shortcuts. Just now I used a lot of keyboard shortcuts. It was fast. Number two is you need to familiar with the functions, and also function means like month formula, end of month, sum if, and you need to familiar with features. I never show you this, like for example, goal seek. Okay, these are the features that normally top management will use to see the picture. Then once you're familiar with this, the second step is to understand accounting items. Like accounting items means, for example, over here we have debt service coverage ratio. That means, is the company able to cover the debt or not? Debt service, that means can be your interest, EMI. So coverage means can you able to cover your debt? But before we go to the technical part, we need to see, okay, like here they have the revenue, operating expenses. We call it OPEX, operating expenses. EBITDA means earning before interest, tax, depreciation. Let me zoom. Uh, Interest, tax, depreciation, amortization, depreciation, then interest. Then we do have the balance sheet, we have the cash flow, and all those things. So you need to understand accounting items, accounting or finance, both also same. Once you understand accounting and finance, and then the next step is, okay, accounting items, you need to know the industry, because different industry have different financial reporting, revenue recognition. For example, my company, we conduct training. So the training is basically service based. Some company is manufacturing. They have to manufacture the product. So they have direct costs, direct materials, direct labor, and so on. Construction also different. Okay. So my friends, did you learn something new? Okay, apologies for the sound behind the back, because maybe because there's a renovation going through, because I can't run anywhere. The sound is still there. So yeah. But nevertheless, did you learn something new? If you learned something new, can you type number 8 in the chat box? But you just say, you lost, okay, because like I believe that maybe I go too fast, or maybe like you don't really understand what I'm teaching. You don't worry, because I have already created a portfolio playlist. Okay, you can actually prepare and show your portfolio. So let me just go to my playlist over here. Sorry, videos. Where is my videos? I also don't know where I keep my videos. Okay, your videos. Okay, so my video over here. So I have prepared a dedicated portfolio showcasing about my projects, like sales report and so on. So maybe my one is a bit slow. Okay. So you can actually refer over here, financial model portfolio, staff cost planning. So when I click it over here, so wait, let me show you the videos. So the videos, like you can see, we do have like a time driver input, monthly staff cost, annual staff cost. So whatever I teach you right now, it is actually over here. Whatever I taught you is over here. And interesting fact is, the thing about, I'm not asking you that you have to subscribe or you have to watch. If my content is something that you can understand, then you can watch. But if just say you have like maybe the audio quality, maybe I teach too fast, you can actually provide in the comment section. You can even give negative comments as well. So at least I take it as a point for me to improve my YouTube videos. So the second project is, like you see, this is my first portfolio. My second portfolio is a simple dashboard. That means how we do have revenue and sales with revenue and expenses data. We have this portfolio. Another portfolio is using Power Query. So let me just click on this portfolio. Using Power Query and pivot table to perform data cleaning, data analysis for the respective Apple product sales. And we do have about, I think, 4 different videos. So this one, I consolidate 5 different worksheet. Instead of one sheet, it's just 5 different worksheet. I use Power Query. Then I use data analysis, pivot table. I use the same thing as well. So this is the full video, this is the bits and pieces, and how I automate the report using Power Query. So this is the report. So you feel free to visit. You don't have to like, share, comment, or subscribe. If they say you feel that you can't hear or you don't understand, you can actually provide your comments in the comment section. All right. So if you have any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, I will. Oh yeah. Uh, this one over here. Let me just go to my report. Wait. Thanks, Satendra. Uh, okay, so I have before and after. I'll share over here. Okay, I've already shared the files in the chat box. If you have any questions, you can ask. No questions means I will pass the floor to Akriti or Arun sir.
Last part, guys. Do you have any questions? Yes, no. So thank you, Ellen, for the great session, and thank you everyone for joining in.
All
And
right,
today
thank you.
night we have one more session, like Atomic Habits, the third law with Vaishnavi. So please join. Thank you.